2 p.m. this beautiful Monday afternoon, and it's now time for the business news. I am Akilachi Kije. The Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Dr. Olayemi Kadoso, will this weekend examine the macroeconomic direction and outlook for the Nigerian economy, a major event expected to provide guidance to key decision makers. Now, Kadoso will address bankers and other public and private sector stakeholders at the annual Bankers' Dinner of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, on Friday at Eco Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. Christened the Governor's Day, the event provides the CBN Governor the opportunity to address stakeholders of the economic and financial markets development during the year, as well as the economic outlook for the coming year. The CIBN will also hold the grand finale of its 60th anniversary celebration, underscoring 6 decades of its commitment to professionalism, innovation and ethics in banking and finance industry. The dinner and the 60th anniversary celebration is expected to draw an assembly of over 500 leaders from the banking industry, influential leaders, and senior government officials. Investors in Nigerian equities closed weekend with a net gain of 144 billion naira as positive global sentiment quickened investors' appetite across the markets. Benchmark equities indices indicated that Nigeria's stock market recorded an average return of 0.37% last week, which is an equivalent to net capital gain of 144 billion naira. The all-share index, ASI, which is the value-based common index that tracks all share prices at the Nigerian exchange, closed weekend at 71,112.38 points. Meanwhile, aggregate market value of all quoted equities rose from its opening value of 38.925 trillion naira to close at 39.108 trillion naira, 8.75%, which is one of the highest returns globally. Now, the performance of Nigerian equities followed global optimism on the macroeconomic outlook. Global stock market indices showed a generally positive outlook across the advanced, emerging, and frontier markets. Inflation rates in Nigeria's inflation increased 24 times, with a singular exception of October 2022, when it slowed down to 21.34% from the 21.47% recorded in November 2022. During the period in review, which is October 2021 to September 2023, inflation has increased from 15.99% to 27.33%. According to the NBS, the depreciation of the naira and persistent inflation has eroded the 17.72 trillion naira that workers' salaries gained in the last 4 years. Also, in its Nigeria Development Update report for June 2023, the World Bank said that the accelerating inflation in Nigeria has pushed an additional 4 million Nigerians into poverty in the last 5 months of 23. The lender added that the loss of purchasing power from high inflation has increased poverty in the short term, pushing an estimated 4 million Nigerians into poverty between January 2023 and May 2023. Now, the World Bank's position on Nigeria's inflation tallies with an earlier presentation made by its lead economist in Nigeria, Alex Seinert, who said in a 2022 presentation that rising inflation had led to a slump in the purchasing power of Nigerians, with the country's consumer price inflation one of the highest in the world. And still on inflation, manufacturers of food and beverages have reduced production by 20% following declining demand from consumers as a result of persistent rise in prices reflected in further rise in food inflation rates to 30 manufacturers to sell finished goods as their stock of unsold finished goods rose by 34.03% year-on-year to 78.82 billion naira in the 9 months ending September 30, 2023. You will recall that the inflation rate in Nigeria has been a constant increase, rising by 5.95 percentage points, which is 26.72% in September 2023, as opposed to 20.77% a year ago, which is triggered by various factors including high energy cost, insecurity, especially in the Besides, the pump price of petrol, otherwise known as premium motor spirit (PMS), has risen by 128.7% this year alone, from 257.12 naira per litre in January 2023 to an average of 560 naira per litre in September. Now, all this combining to pressure consumers' wallets and undermine their purchasing power. Rice consumption in Nigeria has been on a steady rise beyond the reach of local supply, leading to a supply gap of about 2 million metric tons annually, a new report has disclosed. This has led to an over 37% increase in the price of the commodity so far in 2023. This was revealed in AFEC's wet season crop production report for 2023. The firm said rice consumption in Nigeria has been steadily increasing, aligning with the consistent growth of the rice market, nearly matching the annual population growth projection of 2.6% at 2%. Now, this has led to a supply gap of about 2 million metric tons annually. So far, Nigeria has spent about $15 billion in the past decade to meet its expanding rice consumption, despite its potential to be a net rice exporter, the firm has stated. And now, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has opened a global food security